Hello guys, this is Praise the Dark here, and today I'm going to be doing my review of Ashes of Ariandel, the DLC for Dark Souls 3 that just came out last week. Now, over the course of last week, I was able to complete 2 playthroughs of Ashes of Ariandel with a dexterity and strength build, and I feel that now that I've memorized and gotten through everything, I can finally give a detailed review that probably helps out some people that maybe have been undecided on whether or not they want to get this DLC. First of all, I'm going to say, don't listen to Steam reviews right now. And that's just because I feel like everyone that's been giving bad Steam reviews has just been bandwagoning off everyone else that has been saying the exact same thing about the DLC over and over again, that it's too short, that the enemies are redundant, same shit over and over again, that I think is unjustified for the 60% rating that it has. I'm not going to be praising this DLC whatsoever. I'm also not going to be bashing this DLC whatsoever. I think it's a middle-of-the-road, okay DLC from Software that does fall short a bit from other DLCs that they have created for both Dark Souls 1, Dark Souls 2, and Bloodborne in the past. First of all, I'm going to be discussing the things I thought were great about the DLC. The Corvina Village part of the DLC that you encounter about halfway through is amazing, at least in my opinion, because of the interconnected world that it offers, and the fact that the enemies offer so much to the lore that it just is mind-blowing. It feels as if that one really good team worked on this part of the DLC, and one that worked on the Dark Souls 2 base game was on the other part, the one that has snow and wolves and other annoying things. This Corvina Village part is amazing, not only because of enemies, but because of the actual design overall. You get surprised by things, the enemies have these homing attacks, and you have to do a lot of thinking and a lot of choice making when it comes to going in certain directions, or going down certain paths, or going in a certain area to maybe get an item, deciding whether or not you want to do that. There's a lot to explore, there are a lot of shortcuts you can unlock, and overall, I think it is just a great and amazing looking area. It's very pretty. It does remind me of the village that's in the base game of Dark Souls 3, the one that has all the Bloodborne-esque looking creatures. Because this part of the game is the DLC is also very Bloodborne-esque. The enemies are kind of gross looking and all that. I'm also gonna praise the enemy called the Korvenite. They are very difficult, especially because I went into this DLC on New Game Plus 7 and New Game Plus 5, respectively, so they were quite difficult. They don't really have much in terms of stamina. They just keep going crazy. They have unlimited endurance, it seems, at points. But that doesn't deter from their actual character as enemies. They are quite good. And I also think their lore is quite good because they've partnered with Frida, and it's just a really cool addition. I also like the NPCs in this game too, both being Vinhelm and one of the Corvian villagers that is in the village that you enter. Vinhelm is allied with Frida, and he tries his best to prevent you from getting further in the area. And you also have the villager that is also is against Frida, and he wants everything to come to an end. He wants flame to come, and he wants the rot to go away. The reason why I like Vinhelm the most, I think he offers a lot as an NPC because he's very dynamic. He starts off by saying, "Oh, that's strange. How are you here? You're unkindled. There was no bell tolls, but now you're here." And later on in the map, you see a bell that is lodged in the ground, meaning they just took that shit out. They don't want any unkindled coming here. They don't want the flame. So Vinhelm, later on, you encounter him, and he wants to fight you. He wants to kill you because he does not want the flame to come to Ariandel. Overall, I think the lore is really good. There's a lot of linear lore that just tells you about Ariandel in general. Both the person and the actual land, painted world of Ariandel. But it does also talk about Pontiff a lot. Pontiff is one of the main talked about things in the lore of Ariandel. I am also going to talk about the boss. The boss overall, the last one being the one with Frida Ariandel, that one is amazing. At least in my opinion, I think this boss fight conquers or overpasses a bunch of other bosses that were in the base game. It is that good. It has 3 stages. I don't think any other boss had 3 stages in the base game, except for, I think, maybe Soul of Cinder. I don't think so, actually. I think that was 2. But it was a really, really good boss fight. There are some things I wish they did better, but I'll describe them in the other half of the review. But it was a really good boss fight. It left me with my heart pounding, my breath erratic, and I finished with so much pride at the end. I was like, fuck yeah, I beat them, because it took me so long with a dex build. It was so hard. It's such a difficult fight. Especially on New Game Plus. I don't know how it would be on New Game because I never tried it on New Game, but on New Game Plus with a Dex build, it's really, really hard. So yeah, amazing boss fight. If you were to get this DLC, if you had the money, I would just get it for the boss fight. Like, that's it. It's that good of a boss fight. You just have to experience it. You won't know the extent of how good this fight is unless you experience it yourself, because it's really difficult. The enemies that you fight in the boss fight, which are Frida and Ariandel, they have complementing gank moves. It's like a balance of Smo and Ornstein, even though I still think that battle is really iconic. But Frida is a ridiculously hard enemy. She has a big moveset. You have to memorize it, because if you don't and you're not good at dodging, you're probably gonna never beat this boss. And then Ariandel with him smashing his big pot of doom. I just thought it was all really cool. But the third part, the third phase, although it was really difficult and it was really cool seeing her look like she was succumbed by the abyss, I don't think it was as epic as it should have been. I feel like maybe to add something better, she could have been in like a beast form or something cool, like something that was like Manus, that she really succumbed to the abyss, instead of fighting once again another humanoid person for a boss. I just feel like there was enough humanoid battles in this DLC. But let's talk more about the things I didn't like. First of all, I did not like the starting area at all. The enemies bothered me a lot. The followers were annoying. The guy that had the torch that blows flames all over the place, that was annoying because he had such a huge range. The spear guys that had the javelins or whatever, their javelins always seemed to home on me no matter what I did. And the wolves, if you happen to get one of them to howl and they all would attack you at once, that shit was annoying. And don't even get me started on the trees. Oh my god, the trees, man. The trees! They were so awful. All they did was grab you and take out all your health, or shoot those little crystals out of their branches, and oh man, it was just, oh god. Bad area. At least in my opinion. I keep saying at least in my opinion, but whatever. At least in my opinion, that shit sucked. I don't think I had that much of a fun time in that area, but you did get a lot of new weapons and things like that, so I guess it was worth it to some extent. But the amount of ambushes and the amount of annoying amounts of enemies that would just bum rush you at once were, man, I did not like the area. I just did not like it. I also thought it was a little linear for my taste, not enough paths to take, not enough good game design in general for it to be a nice area in my book. So, I mean, if they just chopped that off and made the Corvina Village like a big scale, I think I'd be like enthralled by the DLC. It would be such a good DLC. Now, the first boss, being the wolf and his owner, I probably would have liked it more if that big wolf hadn't been encountered 2 other times just in the world as regular enemies. Like, going into this boss fight, seeing this wolf copy and pasted again with a huge health pool just kind of left me feeling pretty lukewarm in general, and I was just like, well, I beat this boss, but like, I don't really feel accomplished. I feel like I just beat an enemy and got a bunch of souls for it. It wasn't that difficult at all. And the enemy being copy and pasted, like I said, just made it even less good. I could compare this boss fight just being really boring to like a Deacon boss fight. It was just, I walked in, I don't really want to do it ever again. It's just not that fun at all. If I was to replay this DLC, thank God you don't have to go in any specific order for bosses, because I'd probably just skip right over the wolf fight just in general. It's just not fun. In terms of length of the DLC, I wish it was longer. I wish maybe there was one more area, one more boss fight, something to justify the $14 asking price and the long wait it took for this DLC to come out. The exact same length that it took for the first DLC to come out for Dark Souls 2, and Dark Souls 2 offered more in terms of boss fights for their DLCs. In fact, their DLCs trumped their base game and how good they are designed, so I wasn't very happy with the amount of content, despite the large array of weapons and new enemies. I don't think it offered all that much to justify the price and the wait. And I know a lot of people say that, but it's just the honest truth, and you can't really go around that. You can't dodge that and not put this in the review, because it's simply the truth. I also thought, even though I said the lore was good, I thought there was too much about Pontiff. The whole base game basically revolved around Pontiff and what he did. He was the reasoning for Aldrich to get as powerful as he did, to eat Gwendolyn and all that. He was the mastermind behind a lot. Hell, the whole reason why you go through Anne Orlando and go through this entire area of the game is because of Pontiff. Like, Pontiff was huge in terms of lore, and I felt like they should have done something different with the DLC. I thought they should have explored Londor, or they should have explored the Angels, or they could have just explored something else except for fucking Pontiff. But besides the point, I will rate this DLC 6.5 out of 10. I think if you were to go out and buy it, you would do it just to experience that amazing boss fight that you got to do in this DLC. Well, this was Praise the Dark, and I'll catch you in the next one, guys. Peace.